Good evening, morning, night, afternoon, wherever you're watching from. My name's Haroldson. Some of you may know me from the previous casts I've been doing. I've been away for a while, but I'm back today to bring you a very special match. But before we bring you that, joined by my side as co-caster is going to be Schmuldo. Say hello.
Hello!
And obviously your cameraman, who will not be speaking, but will be your lovely cameraman, which will be Midnight, who is also the provider of the servers we're playing. So big shout out to him. So, the match we have on our hands today is going to be a match that pretty much the whole community is unanimously agreeing on being a very interesting one and an exciting one that people are looking forward to seeing. On your Survivor side, we have Team Spanish Nerds. Now, I did actually commentate one of their games, which was played on Swamp Fever. If you hadn't seen it, I won't give any spoilers, but they did play a match before that I commentated. Their roster is going to be Abstract, Z, Joji, and Manzano. Over on the other side, we have a squad which they don't have the most safe for work name, so I won't be saying their actual name, but they will be Team BAN. Schmulder, you can feel free to say it if you want, but I run a safe for work kind of business here, so
Yeah, sure.
But nonetheless, for this team, we're going to be having Perry, Shearer, Zero, and Martin. These are all quite well-known names within the community as well. Generally speaking, all of the names here that we are seeing, they're very talented players. They are quite well-known within the community. And they've all had a fairly good influence, really. Martin himself actually is also a referee for the tournament, helping keep all the rules in check. So, good guy Martin, playing on Team BAN. The map today, as you can see, is going to be the parish. So we're going to have a 4-chapter crusade, with map 1 being fairly short, map 2 being very open, map 3 being fairly full of choke points, and map 4 being the same kind of thing. We are going live. I'm going to get my spec cut up in order to see the first setup, which will be a hunter, spitter, boomer, and a jockey. So we don't have a charger, don't have a smoke, which is going to mean that they're going to need to play quite well, really, on this. We have all the spawns coming up now. Jockey moving in first, dead stops and killed, Boomer unable to land on anybody. Spit does land onto the hunted victim. He does have a little bit of trouble getting out of the spit there, but not the most damage in the world, so that concludes the first attack.
Reloading.
Going to be safely moving their way forward now. We have a tank at 66% and a witch at 77%, so both are a little bit on the late side. The final spawn coming up is going to be in 3 seconds. So far we have a jockey, charger, and a boomer final spawn spitter, so we have a 2-2, which will be with the charger and the jockey. They may be looking to attack on the bus here. They have a boomer from below. They haven't noticed it, so it will be landing onto Nick, so only one survivor boomed, although they have done a very good job running back there, which the infected spawns weren't really ready for that. They may still attack. We'll have to see what they do, but it's looking like they're going to wait for that final 4th spawn, which is not going to be a boomer, it's going to be a capper, so they're going to have a tri-cap plus a spitter.
Reloading.
Tank is going to be up, as I've assigned, will be in the hands of Martin. We have the jockey moving in from the back. He's going to get dealt with before he can land on anybody. Charger moves in, unfortunately doesn't connect with anybody and will be shut down very instantaneous. So we've got Martin's tank here moving in. We do have a pause. As well as a request from the survivors to kill the spitter, which would be, yeah, I suppose I can see what they're saying there. It'd be a good sportsmanship thing to do. No one really wants a spitter during a tank. Survivors have obliged. They have moved back into just outside the safe room. The general place to fight the tank is where the majority of map 1 parish tank fights are fought. Final spawn will be up in 8 seconds. We already have a boomer, and the boomer in this particular choke point, if it lands, then you know you're in trouble. We have seen that. My team especially actually saw that. We got boomed by 2 people, and we ended up getting demolished. So the boomer is very crucial for this tank fight. Let's see if they can actually land it. It'd be very helpful for them if they do. Tank is moving in. He's on his first pass on 10%. He's just about managed to keep a hold of his first pass. He is moving in. Going to be looking to pin somebody here. We have a jockey and a hunter both spawned up. He connects his first punch, but he's very far away, so he has to keep traveling to try and land his next punch. Hunter is moving in. He lands into somebody. Not able to get very much. The boomer is popped in the distance, and the tank goes down incredibly quickly. That's That's not, unfortunately, not what they were hoping for, Schmuldo.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. I was watching that boomer as he failed his first rocket, and then he just started struggling. And yeah, that was unfortunate indeed.
Yeah, well, I mean, boomers are not very fast. Their movement speed is very slow, and if you do get caught like that, as we saw, you're not gonna get close to them very quickly. And they did a good job with shutting everything down. The witch is ahead actually. They're going to be looking to dealing with her. She's actually inside the house, so that's an interesting place. I hadn't seen her there before, at least not in a. They are trying to shoot her through the wall. Actually, I do agree with that tactic. It's just if they can find her, because they don't know where she is exactly. We do have a Boomer Charger, Spitter, and a Hunter, so a fairly devastating setup if they can pull it off. A lot of separation potential, as I say a lot. They're still looking for that witch. They haven't managed to actually find a point in the wall to shoot because they don't, like I say, they don't know where she is, so they're probably going to have to open the door and find out. But she is behind the table there. I have to see. have to see. Ellis is moving in. He gets the remote crown inside, actually. Andy shuts down the Hunter. The Spitter can't land, and then Charger moves in, gets a scratch with the stumble. But I mean, the survivors are in very good shape here. They have all 4 of their medkits, and they did manage to shut down a lot of the setup. And Manzano there, especially with Ellis, running in, getting that remote crown, and shutting down the Hunter as well. And they'll actually be making it in. Very well played survivor round with the 265 bonus point. Did very well there, I have to say. Very, very good survivor round, wouldn't you say?
It was really interesting. Very well played by Spanish team. They seem very strong as survivor, especially. Let's see them how they play Infected.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that is one thing I have noticed with the Spanish nerds. They're very, very good on the survivor side. Especially Manzano with that little remote crown in close quarters, followed by shutting down the Hunter in a single bullet. That was quite good. So this tank here will be Abstract, I'm going to say.
Yeah, as Midi saying, Ban team is really known for their comebacks.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, I know from personal experience as well, I have played with each individual member of this team. Not so much Martin, but definitely the other 3. And I would say Perry especially is very gifted on the survivor side. He's very mechanically gifted in this game. So I'm looking forward to seeing some Perry players here.
Agreed.
Boomer, Hunter, Spitter, and a Jockey will be the setup, same as last time. Boomer from the roof. He gets a boom onto 2 survivors. Hunter gets very nicely shut down there before he can land.
Rochelle struggling.
Yeah, Perry didn't quite notice, or Rochelle didn't quite notice the spit there, probably because of the boom. So some damage, not a heck of a lot, but a little bit more than the previous round. Slightly better. Tank will be up a little bit further along. We'll have to see if they do save the setup or if they go for another attack. I mean, it's a decent place to attack, really, on this bus, because of the fact that you can't really... If somebody gets pinned on the opposite side, you kind of have to run around. Boomer does get a rocket boom. He actually isn't shut down. He gets 1 boom onto somebody, onto Coach, as well as a charge onto him, as well as a bit of an interception there from the Hunter. It looked really good, like, on the screen, but it didn't end up doing that much damage.
Charge nicely recovered from his failed rocket charge.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. The Hunter just barely missed this interception there. He actually, if he'd got that stumble, that would have been an extra pummel, and each pummel of the Charger deals 10 damage, so you can imagine it's a very devastating special infected, if not arguably the most devastating. Mathematically, the most anyway. So we have a Charger, Boomer, and a Smoker. I do quite like the setup, I'm not going to lie. I think as long as the Boomer lands, then, you know, the other 2 can make a lot work. Especially considering the Charger has the ability to stumble anybody as well as the person he actually connects with, so we'll have to see how they play. Abstract's tank is just waiting in the elevated room there. He's going to be moving in. He's not waiting for any distraction. He's just going to go straight in and look for a pin here. There is a smoked victim there as well as a Charger on him. That's going to pretty much be a guaranteed in-cap there if the tank can cover him well enough. That is 1 in-cap already. There is Charger on the roof. He doesn't connect with anybody. He is shut down, but there's separation onto Ellis as well. He does a good job there. I like what he did there, going onto the van and creating some distance between him and the tank. The tank is trying to make something happen with this car. He's not able to do so. He's going to switch onto Perry instead. Nice juking by Perry, though. Does manage to juke that punch. The rock does not connect with anybody, and they're just trying to kill this tank. He's on 600 health and gradually declining. The car hasn't landed yet, and he's 350 HP. They can all make it back to safety. Well, safety, however you want to look at it. They're not exactly safe at the moment. Hunter's going to look to delay them. The boomer very nicely shut down there. Like I said, by Perry, very nicely done. Tank is going to try and get a curve rock around the corner. They can't see it, and he does get the curve rock onto Perry as well as the jockey. He is shut down before he can land another punch, but as you can see, they played a lot better in terms of the tank there.
Indeed, indeed. Even the tank kind of like missed more of his punches.
Yeah. Overall, very well played. It was, you know, it was very well played by Rochelle to manage to shut that boomer down. Because I promise you this: if that boomer actually landed on even one person, that would have even potentially been a complete kill on the survivor side there. So, very good job with shutting down the boomer and making sure that it couldn't make anything else happen there. And we have a Hunter Smoker, Spitter and a Charger moving in now. There's a Smoker victim in the distance here. Interception by the Smoker and scratched onto him. So that's Martin, aka Ellis, down. The Charger's going to reposition. He is on, well, he's on 6 HP, so I'm not sure I agree with the repositioning. He might look to get a respawn to regenerate some of his HP, but obviously one more bullet will kill him if he did go in. So that's what he's looking to do. There is the Witch coming up, as we know. They're going to look to try and potentially deal with it now. There are spawns still down. The Charger's waiting for them, though. He has spawned up. Perry dodges and gets a crown on top of the Witch's head and shuts down the Charger. Unbelievable.
Marvelous.
Absolutely marvelous gameplay. As we saw, I wasn't wrong in saying we need to watch out for Perry here. He managed to dodge the Charger and then crown the Witch on its head. So, you know, great gameplay there. 2 survivors are currently boomed, but you know, the Horde's slowly declining. The alarm car is there. They need to be careful. The Spitter does do the right thing there, actually, and incapacitate Coach, aka Shearer, there. So that's going to be a bit of delay for them. They have a Boomer, actually, who's coming in for the boom. Only lands onto 1 survivor, so they did a good job mitigating that. The Smoker's waiting behind the alarm car. Charger's moving in as well through the doorway. Gets an in-cap onto Rochelle, so that's 2 people in-caps, 3 people in-caps along with the Boomer. They need to be very swift with this. They need to really try and revive somebody. The Smoker's in now. They need to try and cut the tongue if they can. They got 1 shot onto the tongue with the oh no, but the jockey's on him. The jockey, I believe, is actually stuck somehow, but nonetheless, there is a Smoker body blocking the shots as well, so, and then the Spit as well. Nope, it's over, ladies and gentlemen. They have been wiped.
Well, Spanish team is showing their abilities as an infected team. Seems very strong right now. Very, very strong.
Absolutely, they still got rewarded very, obviously very deservedly. They got rewarded the bonus points for killing that Witch there with very impressive fashion. Nonetheless, unfortunately for the team BAN, we do have a slight deficit. Not nearly enough to consider them out of the game. They're still well within the game, but we do have Spanish Nerds on 765 versus BAN's 374. Moving into the Parish Map 2, or Chapter 2, I should say. For Map 2, we are going to see a Shearer tank, so I'm just going to go ahead and assign that. Shearer will become a tank. Right, so, this choke point here is a bit of a... I mean, you either do really well, or you either get shut down very easily. It's very dependent, as long as you have a Smoker, it's very dependent on whether the Smoker can get some separation, and obviously it's a very favourable tactic here to bait, and you know, what I mean by that is run out of the safe room, then run back in when you hear the spawns. So the Smoker is behind the police car there, which is a good spot, you know, when he's crouched, you cannot shoot him. He's very well concealed, not to mention the fact that he can pull through that fence there, so... I do agree with where he's going. That broken car is just a bit too short of a distance, I think. It's too easy to shut down, so I do agree with... Spitter, Jockey, Smoker, and a Charger will be the initial setup for this safe room attack. We have Ellis, who is being controlled by Manzano, moving out. Smoker tries to get a separation onto him, unable to do so, so the Charger's going to be on 340 HP. He did take some damage there, and the Smoker's repositioned. Moving out now, Ellis gets a smoke. Unfortunately, the Charger has to climb over the fence. I like what he was doing there, charging off of the fence, but he wasn't able to connect. I know what he was trying to do. He was trying to pin somebody in that spit, but he wasn't able to connect there. So the survivors, temporary miscommunication. They don't quite know where they want to go, but they've unanimously decided on left. So that concludes the first attack. Very little damage done.
Yeah, they keep... I'm not sure if they're aware of the pills on the right side of the map. Not sure why they're
Yeah.
choosing the left side.
You could actually argue that's an advantage of playing infected first, because you actually get to find where the pills are. These guys are not going to have a clue. They won't know the pills are there because they're playing Survivor first. So, if the infected side, when they play Survivor, they know the pills are there, so they could actually go to the right side and pick them. Tank is now up. Charger moving in, and it will be shut down at the gazebo. He probably was the one getting the tank, actually, to be fair, so that's Shearer's tank. The only way to really exit this place is going to be through this alleyway here, and obviously, you know, the survivors can shoot through that fence there, so he needs to make sure he has some distraction, which I don't think he's going to be having at the moment. Oh yeah, the jockey is moving in, actually. The boomer's behind the fence. There's a smoker getting separation onto Rochelle. They're all onto her straight away, though. Tank tries to land a rock. He's unfortunately unable to do that, and he has taken 1,200 damage so far. So not looking good for him. They are chasing the tank, and he's not in a good position here. He needs to make something happen here on this rooftop, because they're going to surround that rooftop and make sure that he is chipped. Yeah, they're all on all angles here. He can't do anything. He is completely stuck. They need to send him in as soon as they can, really, or try and get some rocks at the very least. They have a boomer and a charger so far. Final spawn in 5 seconds, so they're a little bit staggered. I know what the boomer was trying to do there. He tried to get a rocket, but he didn't manage to connect the bunny hop, so he wasn't able to get close to them. So that is a spawn down now. The pass is on 5% of the first pass, which means it's now on the second pass. 85% and declining, so they need to make something happen here. Survivors are just comfortably positioned on the little outdoor tables there, I guess you could call them. So, you know, we have a smoker, charger, and a jockey. Tank is moving in. He lands a punch onto Rochelle, but he's already very low. Tries to land a rock onto somebody there. There is a charger smoker combo. And then a final punch onto Coach. He is going to get an in-cap, but Tank is still on 1,000 HP. Very, very nice curve rock there by Shearer's tank to land onto Rochelle there. That's a little bit of a consolation there for the tank. He won't be able to land much more, but obviously that little curve rock there was great, to say.
Yeah, that was really nice. Like in this area, the tank is really hard. Like this is really in favor of survivors fighting tank in here, because he's really like showing himself a lot, and they can chip him easily. So managing in capping at least one survivor is really nice. Yeah,
you got to give him credit, exactly, because you are correct. It is very much in favor of the survivors. It's very, very open. You know, it's easy to catch, as they did there, chase down the tank, which, you know, they showed that. They have a charger, smoker, jockey, and a spitter. They're probably going to look to attack here, which they're going to do so. Charger moves in, gets a nice charge onto Nick, as well as some spit damage there. He is very high HP, so that was a good target to go for. They managed to get about 40 health off of him in total, so that's really what you want to be doing, to be honest, in this situation. You want to try and target, with the spitter, the highest HP targets.
Indeed.
So they'll be triggering the event now, and they have to get to the alarm in order to switch it off. There'll be a boomer and a hunter so far. Next spawn will be a spitter, and the final spawn in 1 second will be a jockey. So boomer, jockey, hunt. Oh, actually no, I'm going to interrupt myself. Boomer moves in and lands into one survivor. Hunter's pouncing around for distraction. He lands a pounce onto Rochelle, as well as the spit, as well as the jockey. Everybody's just piling onto Rochelle here. She could even go down. She does go down. That's well played there. I like the tunnel vision they had on Rochelle. Keeping her in the spit like that. That was very good.
They have a little separation from Ellis here, and feel like Perry could actually try to capitalize on him.
Yeah, it might do, yeah. I mean, I suppose I can see sort of his thinking here, because a lot of the fence you can't, well, pretty much all of the fence you can actually shoot through, so he was very separated there, though I must say it was a bit risky, but I suppose he knew the spawns were down, so he's probably just trying his luck there. We have a charger, spitter, smoker, and a hunter for this little scaffolding attack. Charger's going to be on the scaffolding. Hunter from the roof pouncing in now. Separation. They're all piling on the same target again. There will be a spit onto Nick as well as a smoke, and the commons keep him in the spit there. So I see what they're doing. They're pretty much piling every special infected onto the same high HP target. I do see what they're doing there, and I can actually kind of agree with it. I think it's a good idea.
I agree as well. It's a really good idea for them now doing that. Slowing down every survivor one by one.
Exactly, yeah. Because obviously, I mean, you know, there's not really much use going for Rochelle or Coach, because they're on temporary health. They're not really as much of a threat as... well, Manzano on Ellis has very high HP. He's sitting at exactly 88 HP. So he's very healthy at the moment. He's probably going to be their next target. They have a Hunter, Boomer, Charger, and a Jockey, as well as a Witch, actually. The Witch is going to be pretty standard in there. We have the Charger moving in, actually, onto Ellis, exactly what I was talking about. Boomer from behind the fence tries to curve the Vomit over. He's shot through the fence. You know, they did go for Ellis, but they're only able to get one little bit of tick of damage onto the onto him. They're going to be triggering the Witch with an Uzi, mind you, actually, so they need to shut her down quickly. She's moving for Rochelle, and she actually incaps Rochelle. I don't think she knew the Witch was there. Triggered her by accident with an Uzi, which is not ideal, and she ended up getting the incap, so that will deny them 25 bonus points. Charger does move in as well as the Spitter. Things are looking a bit hectic at the moment, actually. Manzano is still very healthy, mind you, on Ellis, sitting at 71 HP, so he hasn't lost that much. We have the Hunter from behind as well. Might be looking to keep them down. Yeah, nice. He gets a scratch onto Coach there and incapacitates him. They're slowing them down very well. And obviously he did die for that, but you know, any slowdown counts, I suppose. They have used a medkit as well, so you know that they are on 3 medkits, and if they keep draining these bonus points, then they can secure the margin, or they can reduce the margin, I should say. Smoker, Spitter, Boomer, and final spawn is going to be up soon. Nick is going to cut the tongue there, actually, from the Smoker. We have a Boomer positioned on top. He's going to get a rocket down. They don't deal with him, but they do melee him very well, actually, and shut him down before he can get the connection to the Vomit. Charger from behind the truck there is going to move in. He connects with the truck rather than the survivors, and he's going to be shut down. The Spit was very nicely placed there to provide some delay. Unfortunately, though, the only spawn up is a Smoker. He's going to get, you know, a last-ditch attempt. He does so onto Rochelle, but it's not much damage. They did manage to drain 2 medkits, though. Better than nothing.
Indeed, better than nothing. Like, Team Ben showing they can keep the pressure, but in my opinion, they need to push it a little farther. Just a little farther.
Yeah, indeed, yeah. I mean, you know, we're seeing potential, but we're just not... I don't think we're seeing the full effect, and, you know, we do have to remember this is a tournament, so nerves are very, very much a thing. You know, they can easily get... the second tank's going to be... is that Bugs? So, Bugs, is that Joji?
Yeah.
Yes, it is, isn't it? Right, okay. So Joji, aka Bugs tank. So the first setup is going to be the same as always, same as the last chapter, half of the chapter. There'll be a Spitter, Jockey, Charger, and a similar setup. It looks like they're going to go for instead of the police car. The Smoker's looking like actually no, he's going to go behind the police car. Sounds about right. So similar to before, we're going to have the Charger on the safe room roof. We're going to have the Smoker behind the police car there, Jockey behind the van. So they're varying the directions they're attacking from, which is what you want to see if you want to make an attack successful. Smoker spawning up here, gets a pull onto Perry, but is shut down immediately. There is a stumble in the safe room, though, as well as they need to get out of that as soon as they can. There's separation from the Jockey as well. So they do take quite a bit of damage here. They did mitigate the damage as much as they could. That could have been a lot worse than it was. Nonetheless, they did take some unnecessary damage, I would say.
I agree. The stacking in a safe room, like staying close to each other, can actually lead to the situation when Charger can charge you, like charge 3 survivors in the same time, which is not ideal.
Yeah, and you combine that with the Spit, and that is devastating. We have a Charger, Spitter, Boomer, and a Jockey up at the moment. We do have Tank coming up momentarily. Survivors are at the gazebo. There is a silenced SMG for ammo replenishment, which they're probably going to be looking to have at least 3 of, at the very least, for the tank fight. We do have the Boomer, actually, at the gazebo behind the tree. Might be looking to get a boom here, or maybe not. Nope, they're repositioning. So we'll have to see how they play this tank. I'm hoping similar to the last time, which is going to be just pressure him. Boomer from in front. Nice shutdown by Perry, which is not particularly surprising. He shuts down two infected there. So as we said, we have a Joji, aka Bugs tank. He's going to be looking to bring the dumpster in. Not the easiest thing to do, as we see exactly why there. You know, bit of a precision thing, and you know, if you get it wrong once, then it's just going to fly straight away from you. So. It's worth a try, but, you know, it doesn't always work. Survivors are doing the right thing. They are waiting at the fence, trying to look to chip him as he walks in, because that's the only angle he... They are unleashing fire onto him now. They've dealt already 600 damage. Boomer from the fence does not connect with anybody. Smoker moves in and... Charger moves in and is shut down very quickly. The tank is not pressured at the moment, though, so he may be able to get into the hedge area here, which it looks like he's going to be able to do, with 900 damage done. Now, 900 damage sounds like a lot, because that is 14% of his health gone. But considering how difficult the tank is to actually get out into the open area, that's not a lot at all. He actually did a good job there.
I agree. You can actually get a lot of cheap, even like 30% just by crossing that little area there.
Absolutely, yep. So we have a jockey, charger, and a hunter. We don't have a boomer. We have a hunter very high up on the invisible walls. They're looking for a damage pounce. I don't think they see him, and he's looking to try and get... he doesn't connect, unfortunately. That could have been easily 20 to 20. No rocks have connected at the moment. The tank is trying to keep line of sight. He is on pass number 2, actually, on 70%. So if they continue breaking line of sight, he's going to have no choice but to go in pretty soon. He's on 55%. And they're doing a good job shutting down the rocks and keeping the line of sight not in his favor. 1,300 damage done, actually. 1,348 exactly. He's on 80% HP, and he's going to be moving a little bit closer to try and potentially land some rocks here. There's a smoker, boomer, and a charger. It all comes down to the boomer here. Smoker and charger are spawned up. Boomer gets some... I don't know if anybody... Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. Those bunny hops. The rocks moving forward now, but Perry doing a good job, exactly as he should be, as the shotgun player, watching out for the rocks. That was very nice bunny hopping by that boomer to be able to land in this area. No rocks have connected, mind you, though. He's at 50% on pass number 2. As long as they don't get hit by a rock, they can easily break line of sight again and force him to commit. Even with the very nice boomer play there, they still didn't make very much happen. There is a hunter pre-spawned and pouncing around to cause some distraction. They're having another chance at a boomer here. Tank is going to be moving in. He's on 53% HP, excuse me. Boomer does not connect. The first punch misses as well. They're moving into the open area here. There's a hunter landing onto Nick. He will be revived. Very, very nice rock skeet there, but collectively by the team VAN. They're going to surround the tank here and try and kill him before anything else can happen. And this is what we want to see. We're seeing an improvement in the gameplay, and this is what they need if they want to, reduce this gap.
Agree. Very well played by Survivor team, dealing with the tank right there. Taking not that much damage. Still 4 medkeys, picking the pills. All green health. Looking good for them.
Absolutely. They did really well to shut down the boomer, and there was a rock that was going to land there. It was Rochelle, Perry, and somebody else who were actually covering the guy who was getting up. So, that was very well played there. That's an extra 25 damage that they prevented from happening. So, as you say, all 4 medkits. No need to use any of them yet. They just need to keep it that way. Spitter's maybe going to look to pre-spit into the alleyway, and then everybody will follow in on that. Smoker's in a nice position, but unfortunately they do know where he is, so they can prepare for it. They did bait out the tongue there. The jockey moves in and is shut down. Charger moving in as well. He's going to be very nicely shut down again. Some separation onto Rochelle there, but nothing's really going to happen off of that. The spit, they can't really run through that, so they're going to have to wait for it to decompose again. But they will be moving out. The smoker managed to survive on 209 health. They can't shoot through that concrete wall there. They can only shoot through the green wall. So they are going to be moving forward and just going to allow him to respawn. There's a jockey, hunter, and a smoker, actually, so they don't have a charger for this choke point. I wonder if they're going to look to kill some spawns here and try and get a charger. But they don't really have a chance now, actually. So the hunters... I see Spanish nerds very much enjoy the high pounces, and being shown here by this hunter in the hands of Joji, aka Bugs. Jockey's moving in now. He lands onto Ellis there. Hunter gets a 5 damage pounce onto Nick. No spitter to capitalize on it though. Boomer lands onto 1 survivor, and they melee him away and shut him down. Perry is actually on 48 HP and declining, so if he gets slow, they do have another set of pills that he can consume if he needs to. So, they're in an ideal situation, as you can see.
Shit, run, man!
So far, we have a Smoker final spawn in 2 seconds. So we have a Smoker, Spitter, Jockey, and a Hunter. No Charger again, actually. A little bit unlucky with the special infected setups here. Hunter pre-spawned on the roof. Probably try and get a damage pounce. I mean, at least even a 10 damage pounce is better than nothing, really. You know, when you pounce from a high ground, you increase the amount of damage you can get when connecting with the survivors if you successfully. He's moving in, doesn't get a damage pounce. He's going to try and intercept with the Smoker Parry. Again, Rochelle shutting down that Hunter nicely, preventing the interception. Jockey is shut down as well as the Smoker. Spitter's the only remaining special infected, so... Yeah, very, very well played and very good show of mechanical skill by the Survivor side, aka Team BAN. Going to be moving up onto the scaffolding now. They're going to be looking to shut down the alarm. No troubles there. They're going to be doing that immediately. They still have the witch to deal with, and you have to remember as well, the Spanish nerds. Actually, while I'm just going to interrupt myself, there's a boomer moving in onto one survivor. So coach is currently. I don't think they're going to attack, though. I think they're just going to try and get a tri-cap for the witch. So as I was saying, we do have to remember that Spanish nerds did not get the bonus points for that witch because they accidentally triggered her in an awkward situation and the witch incapacitated somebody. So they can actually get an extra 25 bonus points that the previous team did not get if they can remote crown this witch. And I mean, Perry, aka Rochelle, is the one with the shotgun. There's also Ellis with the shotgun as well, Ellis being 0. Both of those very, very capable of shutting down a witch, both in terms of a crown and in terms of a remote crown. So,
and I'm playing this very, very nicely, covering all the needed spawns, waiting for the horde to be cleaned.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they're not taking any risks, and you know, especially in a tournament, you can't really disagree with them. You know, anybody would do the same thing, minimize all the potential risks that you don't want to take. And as you know, if a common infected hits you, then your screen shakes. You have a lot of very annoying recoil, so you don't want a common infected hitting you when you're trying to kill the witch, because you're not going to kill her. You're just simply not going to. It's too difficult. There is a hunter waiting at the witch for when they trigger it, so they're in position. Here they go. You get a very nice remote crown. He ran into the witch and got the remote crown. Hunter is clear. Charger in. He is shut down very nicely by Coach in the back there. Final spawn Spitter is going to be shut down there. So they're synchronized in terms of their deaths, but survivors have 4 medkits, and that is a lot more than the previous team. So, you know, if they make it here, they got the bonus points from the wit.
They're currently on plus 200 bonus points, so
yeah,
it's looking very good for them, for the needed comeback.
Yeah, and they may even make it in the safe room. They will make it in the safe room before an attack, actually. So, 300.
Interesting game.
Yeah, like I said, you just can't count them out. I mean, here you see that the point margin is minuscule. It is non-existent. I mean, you know, about 200, you know, a little bit over 200 or under. I don't know. I'm bad at math, but basically... so we have a game on our hands. The map 1 didn't look great for Team BAN, but this map looked great for them. Absolutely brilliant. So we're seeing a close margin. And obviously, you know, you can argue that Left 4 Dead 2 is very much about momentum. Because generally, if you do well on the first map, your morale is going to be very high and you're going to be playing very well. That's not always the case, though, because sometimes, especially with Team BAN, as we're seeing, if you're behind, it makes you play better. And that could actually be their trademark. They play better when they're behind. So, you know, scary team, I would say. So we're going to see the tank. We're going to see a 0 tank on Chapter 3 here. So I'm just going to quickly assign that.
If that was their idea of safety, I can't wait to see what's out here.
Become the tank. And now ready up. So here we are going to have the safe room attack. Not really many angles to attack from, to be quite honest with you. Well, I mean, there are a lot of angles, but they're all very predictable. There's not really any places you can go where they're going to think, oh my god, I did not expect that. We're going to have a Boomer, Hunter, Spitter, and a Jockey. They need to pull out some stops if they want to make this. Jockey tries to get the first survivor. He is completely shut down there. Boomer's doing the very traditional tactic of waiting above the safe room. He's going to be looking to vomit over the roof there. They're trying to bait that, actually, so, you know, bit of a mind game going on. They're going to be going under the bridge. He does successfully land onto Coach, you know, very well played there. So we have a Hunter moving in, trying to get some damage with the Spitter. He is shut down. The Spit knew that he would be shut down, so he just spat wherever the hell he could, and That's going to conclude the attack with a total of 0 damage onto any of the survivors. None of them took any damage whatsoever. So literally, a literal perfect shutdown.
Reloading.
Indeed, indeed. But this attack is particularly very difficult to land. It can happen, but most likely if you like very sharp as survival player, you most likely shut it down.
Yeah, it's pretty much what I was saying. There's not really many angles you can go from. A little bit too predictable. So we have a hunter, jockey, boomer, and a charger. So we don't have a smoker. Is probably quite a good spawn here for this choke point. We do have Ellis waiting on the ledge there, looking for any spawns below. All 3 of the spawns actually, except for 1, is going to be on the same roof. So they're going to be they're going to be switching that up. I like that. So 3 spawns on one roof, 1 spawn on the other. They're taking it quite slow. They're sending 1 person down. They actually have 4 Uzis on this team, which is very interesting. I'm used to seeing them with the shotgun. All the survivors, all the spawns are moving in now. The proxy lands onto Coach there. No connection with Nick there. There's some scratches onto him. Wow. Okay, so actually Nick took quite a lot of damage there. He's on 65 HP, so he has taken a lot of damage from those charger scratches.
About those Uzis, I think they actually don't take those because they saw the tank is kind of early. So
yeah, I agree. Yeah, probably a smart decision, especially with the silenced SMG. That does do a lot of damage. I mean, I think actually mathematically, unless it's been changed, it does do a little bit more damage per bullet than the silenced SMG. I'm from a slightly older time period, but I know that at least when I played properly, the silenced SMG does more damage than the regular.
It does. Still broke like that.
Reloading.
Yeah, okay, nice. So we have a smoker, charger, and a boomer for this setup. They're going to be waiting on the van. The tank can't really play long. He's going to have to move in, which he is going to do. He does get stumbled by the propane tank. He's on 75% HP. Smoker goes in a little bit early there. He's going to be shut down quite quickly. He does pin Nick into the corner there. That could have been their plan. Melee weapons are all surrounding him here. He is shut down before anything can happen, and Charger moves in and is completely shut down as well. So, those melee weapons proven to be very deadly in that corner there. They got 1 in cap, but that's as much as they could do. A little bit unfortunate. I mean, I like what they were doing with the smoker and pinning him in the corner, but the other infected weren't really all too synchronized. I don't know if they really intended to do that as well. I think it might have been a bit of miscommunication going on Team BAN. So we're seeing a lot of very good survivor gameplay by BAN, but the infected gameplay could use a little bit of work. We have a spitter, boomer, jockey, and a hunter. So not the most ideal setup for this trope. We have Ellis looking in the ammo room. Boomer's moving in onto him. We'll be landing onto Ellis. Hunter's trying to pounce through that doorway, but pouncing through doorways, he got shut down before he could do that. It's a very difficult thing to do as a hunter, pouncing through a doorway. You need to really aim that properly. Spitter tries to get some separation. He's not successful though, and the survivors will be moving forward through this corridor.
They have free passage to the sewer right now, so I assume Team Ben will try to use the choke point on the ladder. More ideal for them.
Yeah, exactly. They weren't able to do anything with the sewer choke point, so they will be moving further ahead. Boomer does try to connect with somebody. He does get a proxy onto Ellis, so that should delay them a little bit. But I think the survivors are going to be smart and move up because they know why they're sending that boomer in, because they don't have a good setup and they're going to try and get something better. Although they're not going to take any risks, so they are going to be waiting for the common infected to trickle down. Because obviously on a ladder you don't really want to be climbing up into common infected. They obstruct your vision, they reduce your aim and all sorts. So. We got a spitter, smoker, hunter, and a jockey. No charger again. Smoker onto the first target. Hunter, and a little tri-cap going on here. That's what we want to see. Very nicely done. Still not cleared onto the hunter below as well, and the spitter's going to try and get some delay. So we're going to get an in-cap onto Nick as well as Ellis going onto slow HP. They couldn't really have played that better. That was a very good tri-cap.
That was indeed. This choke point is really crucial, and they played really well.
Exactly. I mean, the best they can hope for, really, unless they get a phenomenal attack, they're going to want to do what they did last round, and that is try and make them use medkits. They have a boomer and a charger, so they finally have that charger, and I suppose it would be a good place to have it here on this trope. Rochelle is quite far ahead, actually, but she's on top, and everybody has vision on her, so she's okay. They're going to be trying to get Rochelle, but Smoker's shut down, really. I think he was trying something that wasn't really going to work out there, so unlucky for him. We do have a boomer and a spitter with the charger, so, you know. Charger is shut down with a melee weapon there. Four people boomed. A little bit of spit damage onto Nick. So one medkit has been used. So that's a potential, well, not potential, that is a 25 point reduction to from their potential bonus. All the spawns will be up in total in 7 seconds. So far we have 100. We do have a witch on the stairs ahead. They're probably going to look to deal with her straight away. Hunter's moving in, trying to get some... Oh, unfortunately, he couldn't land in time. Hunter was skeeted as well. That is...
Sorry.
No, I was just going to say that is a good shutdown. What were you going to say?
It was good shutdown, but I noticed they had a little split, little 2x2 by survivors, and they kind of tunnel visioned the witch right there. I would assume like it would be better to just attack those behind, because survivors were actually trying to kill the witch, so they could actually had like some more damage.
A little bit of a stumble from the charger there, but no, I mean, you know, they are going to make it in. They managed to deplete one medkit, so, you know, a little is better than none. So, I mean, yeah, we're seeing the statistics there. Manzano, nearly 50% of the SI damage being dealt there. Well played by him. So they're sitting at a comfortable points of 2,495. I'm just going to assign the tank, which is going to be a Z tank. And there we are. So, I'm the last person to read it up, so I'll do that now. As we saw in the previous chapter, there's not really much the infected can do unless they pull out some great stops. We do have the boomer spawned up on the roof above the survivors. He's going to look to do the exact same thing. He's not able to do that, actually. They managed to dodge the vomit. Hunter is shut down by Rochelle there. Jockey temporarily lands, but is shut down as well. You can argue that they did better, because they did some damage, but I mean, still, they shut that down very well, and they haven't taken very much damage at all.
Stop shooting me.
A little bit of delay, actually, from the boomer horde, so they need to try and be as quick as they possibly can. They do have a choke point coming. And do we have an Uzi in the house? We do. We're not a silenced one, but we do have an Uzi. Charger's moving in the staircase, gets a charge onto one survivor, 3 damage pounce onto Ellis, but is shut down before he can do anything more. Jockey temporarily lands onto Rochelle in the room, but is shut down before much can happen, so that will conclude that attack. They're going to drop down now. Probably also going to look to trigger the tank, because all the spawns will be down for, well, the last spawn is going to be down for 13 seconds, so they're going to be looking to trigger that tank, which is going to be, as I said, a Z tank. Z actually also has a spitter, so that's quite fortunate for him, really, because he's going to be moving in with that. The charger moves in and just doesn't connect with anybody. It is shut down. The tongue is cut before it can actually drag anybody, and the smoker is killed as well. The final spawn is a boomer, looking to go behind the van there. Not able to connect with anybody. Rock is skeeted by Perry, so it looks like Rochelle, aka Perry, is going to stick with the shotgun, which I suppose is not the worst thing in the world. We do have a boomer from behind the van, lands onto Ellis, so that is one boomer. A successful boomer, really. I mean, any boom is a successful boom. Tank is going to be moving in here. The survivors are going to be on the truck. He misses his first punch and a second punch. Nicely juked there. He's going to connect a punch with Ellis there, and he's surrounded by the horde, so he's going to be tunnel vision there. Tank is on 3,000 HP. He's still quite high HP, mind you, but he's juked. Very nice jukes by Coach here. Who the hell is Coach? Very nicely done by Shearer there. Survivors are going to be under attack, but they're going to be shutting down these spawns. Tank is on 500 HP. They should be able to chase him down and kill him. At least that's what they should hope. They're going to hope to do. And they do just that. So, I mean, honestly, they could have taken a lot more damage, but as we saw, especially by Coach, aka Shearer, there's some very nice jukes on the tank punches.
It was very well played by survivors. Indeed.
I mean, yeah, you can argue they don't look that great, you know. They have got an in-cap, but they have got somebody who's nearly slow. But still, they managed to kill the tank, and they did juke. Hunter is going to be wall kicking onto Rochelle there, as well as the Spit. The Charger's moving in as well, gets a stumble. I really like what they did there, actually. That was very smart. A very, very smart play. The Charger didn't even need to go for anybody. He just literally needed to charge near them to stumble them, which did just that in the Spit. Very, very intelligent gameplay there, actually. I like what they did. So the Spit is going to be moving back to look to get a respawn, and I do agree with that. Honestly, I was watching the Spitter there, so I don't know who just attacked there, but so they do have a Spitter and a Smoker and a Jockey. Final spawn will be in 14 seconds, so the survivors have some time to progress forward. They have elected to use a medkit in the hands of Coach, so that's one medkit down. Obviously, there's not really many pills nearby, so they're going to probably have to eventually. Final spawn is going to be a Boomer, so they have a Boomer, Jockey, Smoker, and a Spitter, and within the Left 4 Dead 2 community, most people agree that this is the worst setup in the game. Boomer, Jockey, Smoker, and a Spitter. Most people, anyway, will agree with.
I agree as well.
Yeah, not gonna lie, I agree too. It's not the best setup. You can make it work, and honestly, a lot of the time when you say it's a bad setup and you have low hopes, generally you tend to do well with it. It's a weird psychological thing, but I tend to find the bad setups do really well because you have low expectations. But nonetheless, it is kind of a bad setup. I think they are going to be looking to attack at the sewer here, which, you know, I suppose I agree with it. There is a Boomer waiting below, unless they're sending the Boomer in to delay them and hope for a charger, mate.
Jockey waiting on the roof to get
Yeah.
survival.
Yeah, well, I'll see. I'm curious to see what they do here, actually. It's interesting.
Reloading.
Either way, the Boomer is going to land on at least one survivor. There's no way they can really avoid that. And they do. He does land onto Ellis there. He's going to have to take the punishment and go down. There's not really anything he can do there. He's just going to have to take the punishment, go down, and probably take his pills when he is revived. All survivors have successfully made it down, so nobody has been killed at that choke point. Because if you get pinned on top of there, you can't be rescued. You can't climb back up that sewer. So that is a very bad choke point, but they cleared it very nicely. We have a Hunter, Smoker, Jockey, and a Spitter, so no Charger, but this is a very good setup nonetheless, especially for this ladder attack. They're just peeking up, trying to find where the spawns are, so where they need to look when they finally decide to move up. All of the survivors are moving up one by one, all together. Hunter in the Spit, somebody got stumbled below as well, so the Jockey might be looking to get him below. He does successfully get Nick below. This is not good for them. They've got a lot of separation going on. They need to clear this survivor. Alarm car has been triggered as well, so that's going to be some horde they need to deal with.
Not looking good, not looking good.
No, unfortunately, I have to agree, it's not looking good. They do need to move a little bit faster here. In their favor, the final spawn is coming up in 13 seconds, but not in their favor. They have slow survivors, so, you know, they can only really move as fast as their slowest guy. They have a Charger, Boomer. Boomer moves in. He does land onto Nick, so that's one person boom. Hunter's causing some mayhem with the noises there. Moving in from the back. Hunter lands onto the smoked victim on the van, who will be incapped. Charger is down. There's finally a Smoker spawning up. He will be, you know, he'll be getting a little bit of a pull, a little bit of damage, not too much. He's going to be hiding behind the alarm car. And eventually moving back to try and get a respawn. He's at half HP, but when you respawn, you do replenish some of your HP. Not all of it, not literally all of it, but most of it. Enough for it to be worth it, let's say. So we have a Smoker, Boomer, Jockey, and a Spitter for this ladder choke point. And, you know, just by pressing tab, their health is not the best. Jockey is pre-spawned. Boomer lands onto to Perry, aka Rochelle. So a bit of delay going on there. There's a Jockey waiting on the ambulance for the survivors. Smoker as well. They're just going to see what they can do here with these two spawns here, which is the Smoker and the Jockey. Just patiently waiting. The Jockey moves in. He's melee'd and killed. The Smoker gets some damage onto Ellis, but is shut down. So, I mean, you know, they're going to move forward. They have, I think, one set of pills, but, I mean, every 4 of the survivors could use a set of pills right now. So, one isn't really enough for them. But it's what they have to live with at the moment. Spitter, Charger. Another spawn coming up. Hunter, final spawn will be a Boomer. So they have a Charger. They have a Charger and they have a Spitter Boomer. Boomer from behind gets a quad boom onto 4 survivors, a Spit combination onto the charge, some stumbles going on. Everything's happening here. This is devastating for the survivors. 3 people incapacitated. This is not looking good, and for some reason Perry has removed his clan tag. I don't know why, but he's decided to go ahead and do that. So they're going to have to revive as quick as they possibly can here. Zero, Ellis is nearly dead as well. They need to revive him. I think they will be able to, unless some last-minute delays happen. They're going to look to attack. The Charger moves in, gets a rocket spawn. They're trying to delay the swing here. He does actually connect with Nick and gets another incap, so there's 2 people incapacitated. Ellis has been jockeyed as well. Smoker tries to land onto 1 more survivor. Ellis may go down again here. And dead, in fact, actually. The Boomer lands onto 2 survivors, and the last remaining survivor is Coach, aka Shearer. There is a jockey moving in on top. He's going to pin the last survivor, and that's going to be the end of that. So they couldn't clear the couldn't reduce the margin as much as they potentially wanted. So the margin is looking a bit bigger. They can still win, but it's going to be difficult. But obviously they can make it work if they really want to.
They really can, but they need to stay sharp and not allow the mentality go down, not allow the spirit go down, which we could actually saw them after the second half of the map. They saw kind of frustrated. They didn't play that sharp as they played before. So I'm just hoping they get their shit together and proceed.
This tank is going to... So as in map 1, we are going to see another Martin tank, so I'm just going to... Right, so this is the final chapter of the parish, and we have... we're going to have to see, 1 half each, so this is going to be the final chapter of this match. I've had a lot of fun casting it so far, and I'm hoping to see, because obviously we can see their morale isn't great. I have a feeling that might be why Perry has removed his clan tag. I'm not, I can't be certain as to why he did that, but it could be a morale thing. The tank is 24%, so it is a very early tank. That's what they need, actually. If they can wipe with this tank and then kill it, that could be their chance for a victory here. And, Martin's a good player, so, we'll have to see how his tank...
Hey, nailed that.
Smoker, Boomer, Spitter, and a Hunter will be the setup for this attack. We have the Boomer positioned in the back. He's going to look to land a vomit. He's unable to do so. There is a Hunter-Spitter combination. They made something happen. That is actually really good. That Spitter-Hunter combination dealt 40 damage in total. Very well played there.
Reloading.
So they're currently on 12% of the map, and they're going to be looking to trigger this tank, which is going to be very soon. It's up now. So the tank is going to be spawning ahead, so all they're going to really have to do here is this room, exactly, this little mini library, I would say. It's going to come down to the Boomer. If the Boomer can land and send some common infected in, which he's going to try to do, he lands onto 1 survivor. That might not be enough, actually. It might not be enough for the tank. I don't think he's going to be moving in on it. The tank is just looking to... Yeah, he's not going to move in. He's just going to reposition. They probably were hoping for a little bit more than 1 survivor there, because I don't think 1 is really enough for a close area. Actually, if anything, 1 boomed is an advantage in some cases, because that means that all of the common infected are going to go for 1 survivor, because then you just know where they're going to go. Tank is going to be moving in. This is their chance. He does miss his first punch. He gets 1 punch onto Rochelle, and they're continuing to take the damage in. All the melee weapons are landing, unfortunately. Yeah, like you say, the melee weapons have completely obliterated him. I think they didn't really send the spawns in early enough, so... Yeah, Coach took a lot of damage, Rochelle took an exceptional amount of damage, but the spawns weren't really fast enough, I wouldn't say, so the tank did die before he can incap anybody. I'm gonna have to be really annoying and just leave you to it for I'm just gonna say about 2 minutes total. I'll be back in a second. Very sorry.
Alright, I'll try my best.
Reloading.
So here we have another attack. Charles Peter Hunter Boomer. Which is another 2-2.
Reloading.
I'm not gonna talk that much, it's Haraldson, I'm sorry. And here we have Charger getting shut down quite nicely. Hunter landed on me. Boomer kinda fell down, I feel like, and getting shut down.
Reloading.
I really feel like their mentality is kinda down right now. Which is understandable in the tournament settings. The nerves are really ticking. And here we getting to the next choke point, which can actually deal a lot of damage if it's done properly. Smoke jockey charges Peter. They've taken their time. In fact, they've taken their time with the attack, playing kind of slow. They really need to push They really need to push themselves and keep the pressure. And now I'm gonna leave it to Haraldson.
Well, yeah, sorry about that, guys. I am back. So, yeah, we're going to have the spawns moving in now. Charger from below doesn't get a charge, gets a stumble. Spit moves in. The coach is actually stuck in that spit, and he can't get out of it. He's going to go down, actually. I have to say, that's a little bit of unfortunate for him, because he wasn't really in the spit in terms of what the view model showed, but... nonetheless,
invisible spit is a thing in this game.
Yeah, that's pretty much what that was. It wasn't really hitting him, but at the same time it was. Invisible spit is an annoying thing to do. We have a charger, jockey, boomer, and a hunter. So unfortunately, we don't have a smoker for this choke point, which is very ideal. Boomer from below doesn't connect with anybody. Hunter moves in. Charger lands onto coach there, and a jockey onto Rochelle. All of them will be shut down very efficiently. And they're going to continue moving quite well. I mean, final spawn coming up in 15 seconds. The witch is... the witch had stumbled somebody for quite a while there, but then is shut down, so that's 25 points awarded. 34 damage done by Z there. Consider him to be the true MVP of that. We have a spitter, smoker, hunter, and a boomer. Boomer rocket booms in, lands onto 2 survivors. The hunter moves in onto Nick as well as, so they're making some things happen. But I mean, it's not looking like it's going to be enough. All of the survivors at the moment are above 40 HP and therefore are able to run at the maximum movement speed.
They really should focus on the high bonus survivors, as they did in previous rounds.
Yeah, they did a good job with that before, but this round, not so much. They did actually put a lot of focus onto coach there, but he's on temporary HP, so he's not really a big time.
The mentality is fractured right here, as we can see.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to avoid, really. Sometimes it just can't happen there. Smoker from behind pulling into the alarm car, or not alarm car, excuse me, just the car. He's going to be shut down. The hunter's on the invisible walls, looking to get a damage bounce, or just barely misses coach there, unfortunately. Instantly cleared in 0.69 seconds. They're going to be moving forward, dealing with these common infected very well. They have 2 slow survivors, but that probably isn't going to be enough to slow them down very much. So they're going to end up making it into the safe room here. One final attack may happen. It'll be a very staggered one, but one final attack is going to happen here. It'll be a charger, boomer, and a smoker. They're moving in. The stumble from the boomer means that nobody could actually get close to them. So, 410 bonus points. That's massive. Yeah, that's rough. That's nearly a 2,000 deficit there.
Oh, man. I don't know what to say. Feels like GG, man.
Yeah, unfortunately, guys, it's not looking likely for the Team BAN here. Not to say that they played badly. I think it's just the morale just wasn't there for the 4th map, because we did see potential on map 1. We saw very, very good potential on map 2. Map 3 was a little bit not great, and then map 4 they just kind of lost their motivation, I think. But the parish is a very long map as well, to be honest. Not map 1, but definitely the others.
But they started really, really powerful. I mean, Team Ban, even the Spanish team is really powerful. They showed some capabilities, especially in Survivor round. Even as infected, they played pretty well. But after, in a half of the campaign, they started kind of stuttering, as I can see.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you got to say that the best map that they played was absolutely map 2, Team BAN. They played very well on. Smoker's looking to be getting a separation pull onto here. There is everybody's piling onto Rochelle there outside. She's smoked in the spit. Will get a get-up animation. She's in-capped. Oh no, already. There's already an in-cap. That's so unfortunate. 4 people boomed and an in-cap on just leaving the safe room alone. It's very sad to see. Very sad to see that.
I can see Perry screaming in the Discord, just let me die.
Yeah, oh dear. That's very sad. I'm very sad to see. Nonetheless, let's just see what they can do here. They as well as you know, they can't really win as such, but they can still use this as an opportunity to keep moving forward, which is the mentality every team should really have. Even if you're losing, just try and learn some new things.
I agree.
Moving in here, trying to get somebody. The spit doesn't connect very well. Actually, connects onto the balcony above them. Rock moving in and is shut down quickly. They're going to be pressuring the tank. He's going to try and get a curve rock round the doorway there. Nicely shut down by Perry, aka Rochelle. He's just going to be curve rocking for days around that door. He's only taken 100 damage so far. Oh, nice curve rock, I have to say. A very nice curve rock by Abstract there. They need to be careful of another one, which is coming round. Doesn't land that time. So Perry's health is 56 HP. Boomer is very nicely shut down mid-air there, as well as the nice mid-air shutdowns there, and then there's another curve rock moving in. Oh no, the curve rock actually landed onto Coach there, so he's going to replenish his control. Another curve rock lands onto one more. They're just pushing him. They're just running straight into his face. They don't care. They're just saying, "Come at me," and that's exactly what they're doing to him. He's already on 1,300 HP. I mean, he has incapped somebody, but that's going to be the end of the tank. I sort of agree, but I think they mainly did that because they just want to get the game over with. I'm not going to lie. Ellis is pulled in the front there. Charger moves in as well. Lands into the tables and they shut down before he can make any damage happen. So, you know, they're not in the best health. 3 people need a movement speed boost, either with a medkit or a set of pills. So they're going to see if they use a medkit or if they use the pills or whatever they do.
I mean, it's kind of understandable, their behavior right now, like the little memeing and trolling. If this match is they're lost, like if they lose this match, they will continue or they will not continue in term. I'm pretty not sure right now.
I'm going to have to leave that one for somebody else to answer. There's a jockey in the distance there onto Rochelle. A lot of separation going on. They're going to be chasing her down, but she's going to get the incap. So that's
They just
3.
don't care.
I don't think so. I'm not going to lie. I think they've given up here.
I mean, what I try to say is, like, when you're not sure you're out of the tournament, you still should try to get as much points as possible, because the points can actually lead you to proceed in the tournament, even if you lose the round, lose the match.
Indeed, yeah. I mean, you know, kind of lost our game by quite a huge margin, but it didn't stop us from trying. You know, we still tried in all of the maps, which is what you can hope for. Boomer gets a rocket boom onto 3 survivors. Nice rocket boom there. Charger tries to get some separation, but just connects with the wall instead. Nick is in the spit, and he is the highest HP survivor. There is 1 survivor on the 2 survivors on the floor, 2 on top. Separation smoker onto Nick there, and they can just about clear the tongue in time before he gets onto the floor. So they're not in the best shape, but they are in, I'd say, good enough shape to make it to the safe room if they keep. Smoker's going to look to get a respawn. We have a Smoker, Jockey, Boomer, and a Charger. A very good setup, actually. Boomer's going to try and get a rocket boom. Lands very nicely. Yeah, 4. Very nice boom there by Manzano.
It's really hard to land that one because it's like just 1 pixel or 2 pixels to land the boomer there, but that was nicely done.
Yeah, absolutely. Most boomers you see there, they actually don't connect like that, and they actually just fall down instead and get shot down. So very nicely done. They're not going to attack with it, mind you. I think they're going to just be waiting for the spitter, which is probably going to be the next spawn they get after sacking the boomer. So instead of a boomer, they have a Jockey, Smoker, Charger, and a spitter. Jockey's moving in first, trying to connect with somebody. He's knocked down onto the floor. Charger moving in. There is a Smoker onto Rochelle. She's knocked down. The Charger does get a separation charge onto Ellis there. He's cleared before a pummel can happen. Nonetheless, he has been separated, and he is slow as well. So, you know, he needs to be as fast as he possibly can, which is not that fast, considering he's below 40 HP. Jockey in the distance is on 127 HP, so he will be shut down very quickly with a lot less bullets than if he was full HP, which is 325 on full HP. I mean, I think he's not going to be looking to respawn that, he's just going to be looking to move in with it, which he does just that. He lands onto Nick and is shut down very quickly because of his low HP. There is a witch, they're going to spit to delay because they want to have everything set up and ready for the witch. So we'll have to see how they play. They haven't actually failed a witch yet, you know, the team BAN. They have actually dealt with them all. So let's just see if they can keep the trend up and deal with the final. Which he is doing just that very nicely. Crowns there by Perry, aka Rochelle. All the final spawns are going to be moving in through the doorway. Nicely shut down again by Team BAN. So, you know, as much as they can't win, they're still pulling out some good plays at the least. And, you know, we want to see at least that.
I want to see them finish in the safe room. That would be nice.
Yeah, I'm hoping for that. You know, that they are more than capable, and I'm really hoping to see them make it to the safe room. We do actually have, what is that? Two? I think it's 2 shotguns. Yeah, 2. So yeah, they have 2 shotguns. Unsurprisingly, in Zero and Perry's hands. That's generally the shotgun players that I would put in that. Spitter's going to be trying to get some delay, but he doesn't actually land in an ideal situation. Smoker gets onto Ellis, but is cleared quickly, so they're going to be able to progress forward. They can't move any faster than Ellis, because Ellis is a bit slower. But, you know, they're still going to be moving. Nick is actually slow as well now. He's now on below 40 HP. There's only really one more attack. And after this attack, if they shut it down, they can make it.
Smoker right there in the safe room.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, why not? I suppose he's gonna try and surprise them as they move in. Boomer tries to get some bunny hops into the survivors, but he's clear before even any bunny hops can be initiated. We have the Charger waiting behind the wall there. He's going to be moving in, shut down before he can make anything happen. The Smoker is shut down as well, so that's going to conclude the match, ladies and gentlemen. Team Spanish Nerds are going to be your victorious team at 3,705 points versus a little bit lower, 2,606 points on Team BAN. So that's going to conclude the match here, ladies and gentlemen. Team Spanish Nerds will be your victors. And that's it from myself, Schmuldo, and our cameraman, Midnight. Thank you very much for tuning in, guys.
Thanks. Bye-bye. What a match. What a match.